Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's Football Show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. It is Friday. I'm Peter Morton. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us on the programme on YouTube. In the studio with me, Alan Rough, Barry Ferguson. It's Scottish Cup weekend and there's lots to talk about. Well, the general view will be that the SFA don't like to do things too quickly. We are well back after the winter break and suddenly a raft of charges come out that nobody knew too much about. Hibs have been charged with misconduct. Rangers have been charged with misconduct. John Potter, the Hibs coach, for the Barney they had trackside in that match at Easter Road. Thomas Culshaw is also charged with misconduct, as well as Michael Beale for his conduct in the Old Firm game, and then picking up a misconduct charge, two players and one coach. Alfredo Morelos for the gesture we're aware of. Kent for apparently making some sort of shotgun gesture, and Michael Beale again. So it's been a while in the delay, and suddenly there's a few people facing fines and obviously some bans along the way.
Yeah, it's took 3 weeks, but Peter, that's the problem I think a lot of people have. I think they should come out, the SFA, and deal with it straight away, but they've not. But I was surprised about that. It seems to happen every time there is an incident in a game. They take a few weeks to mull it over and then come out with the charges. So am I surprised? No, I'm not. But with the things that the players are being charged for, I think it was going to happen with the gestures they make after scoring goals. Yeah,
you need to think long and hard and think twice about it. Listen, nobody is suggesting for a minute that the SFA are getting things wrong with certain issues. It's probably the time on it that it's taken, certainly for this raft of penalties that are being handed out, Roughie. We're talking about the last 7 days, and already, you've had Celtic and Rangers coming out not happy with certain things that have happened. A lot of clubs are unhappy with the way the SFA are conducting themselves at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a time scale more than anything else. I find it really hard to believe that they can deal with Ryan Christie as early as they dealt with him, and they haven't dealt with everybody else. It's just crazy. I mean, obviously they'll have to come up with some explanation of why it's taking so long to do everything else. We saw the Hibs Rangers one. That was just a trackside Barney, and that was going to. Eventually, somebody was going to cop for it. But I think the other ones, we would have liked to have seen it all happening at the same time, because now there's a time scale of people complaining.
Yeah, don't hold your breath, Roughie, on waiting for a full explanation on that. Anyway, Cup football to look forward to. Our reporter Gabriel Antoniazzi sets the scene.
The winter break is over and the fourth round of the Scottish Cup is upon us, where all of the top flight teams join in on the quest for the oldest trophy in world football. 32 teams are still standing, varying from treble winners Celtic and the resurgent Rangers, all the way down to the likes of Bonnyrigg Rose and Broxburn Athletic. The games begin on Friday evening with Stranraer visiting Ibrox. Can they emulate their famous last-minute 1-1 draw on Boxing Day 7 years ago? Their chairman will certainly hope so. On Saturday, the majority of Premiership teams, including Aberdeen, Hearts and Kilmarnock, are at home versus lower league opposition, before holders Celtic visit Partick Thistle in a slightly different Glasgow derby. It'd be some result if the Jags can put an end to the Hoops' 31-game run in domestic knockout ties. They couldn't, could they? Then attention is switched to Dundee, with James McPake's side hosting Motherwell under the Saturday night lights, before runaway championship leaders Dundee United get a taste of what next season may have in store for them, as 2016 winners Hibernian play at Tannadice. There'll be a few surprises along the way as the teams begin their quest to lift the Scottish Cup at Hampden on the 9th of May.
Yeah, where are the cup shocks coming? Well, I certainly would suggest, I don't think too many people will be suggesting it's Ibrox in tonight's game.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Rangers will be too strong. Listen, it's a great draw for Stranraer financially, and great for some of the players that have never played at a stadium like Ibrox. But if I'm being honest, Peter, I don't see any problems for Rangers. If they're professional and they start in the right manner, I think it'll be a comfortable win for Rangers. Yeah,
and as Gabriel mentioned there, it's 31 consecutive games that Celtic have won in the knockout matches, and of course the last 10 trophies have all managed to find their way to the Celtic cabinet. And Stephen Gerrard, the Rangers manager, says, you know, they're one of the teams that certainly want to put an end to that. He wants to be at Hampden in the final.
We'll treat Stranraer with the utmost respect. It's a home game, it's the first game back after the small break, so all the players are excited. I certainly am, and we want to get our rhythm back as quick as we can.
Yeah, and Stranraer, Roughie, 10 points from safety at the bottom end of League One, so things are not going well for them. It'll be one of those days where I think the chairman and the board will be more happy because they'll have banked a fair bit of cash, and as the manager Frank McEwen says, you know, suddenly that will take them through for the next 2 or 3 years, that slice of the kitty.
Yes, that's what it's all about. It's all about, you know, the fans coming from that area, coming up in droves, going into a tremendous stadium. You know, be a tremendous atmosphere. Players will remember it for the rest of their lives. A lot of them won't get a chance to do it again. So they'll go there, you know, and try and put up a good show. But like I agree with Barry, you know, I think Rangers will. It doesn't matter what team they put out there, they will be too strong.
OK, give us your prediction. I've got 3-0 Rangers.
I've got 5-0 Rangers.
Yep, I'm 5-0 as well.
You said 7 before, and you changed your mind, OK.
I'm not kidding. Oh, I've got it written down.
I was waiting. I thought, I actually was looking forward to it. I thought, he said to me 7-0 before the whole thing started. But nevertheless, we'll take 5. That's not really a good prediction from you, though, because you're trying to gain a bit of pace on him from the predictions. You're so far behind.
I was sitting in here myself, and Roughie's come in, and I'm just looking at his predictions. They're very similar, which is not ideal. It's
not good for you. Listen, Hearts have to deal with all the speculation over one of the young players, 17-year-old Aaron Hickey. AC Milan mentioned. I'm sure there are other clubs that'll be looking, but there's an old Hearts player looking to get one over on them. Of course, talking about Colin Cameron with Ian Murray. The two of them there are trying to plot the downfall of a turbulent Hearts side. I mean, they've got more than a few problems, but they've announced that Stevie Naismith is their new captain, with the Christophe Berra issue now firmly behind them.
Yep, I thought about it when obviously Christophe Berra get put to the side by the manager, and I think there was 2 players that were clear candidates, and that was John Souttar and Stephen Naismith, and obviously he's went with experience in Asia, and I'm not surprised. I think he'll gain that respect in the dressing room. He's a real winner on the pitch, so I think it's a good choice by Hearts.
I've gone 0-0.
I think it'll be a close one, I do, but Hearts, this is a real chance for them to kick-start their season. I know it's a Scottish Cup, I know they're struggling in the league, but I think Airdrie will make it tough, but I'll go Hearts 2-1.
Yeah, I thought if this game had been at Airdrie, it'd have been a tougher one. But no, I think it all clicked for Hearts tomorrow. I think they'll win 3-0.
Yeah, OK. Of the other big matches, we'll go through as many of them as we possibly can, because it's exciting times. There are fans who think maybe this could be a cup shock day. Is it at Pittodrie, Roughie? The Dons Forum, not great at the moment. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats. Dumbarton, 3 wins in the last 6. Is there anything happening at Pittodrie?
Not for me. You know, I think Aberdeen have got all the cards in this one. You know, I think the most Dumbarton would get out of this would be a draw, but I can't see it. I've got Aberdeen to win 3-0.
Yep, I've got 2-0 Barry.
I've got 3-0, comfortable.
Yeah,
I know. I actually think the guys.
I mean, I've picked them in, you know, a good 10 or 12 games here where you could make up points on them. Alloa against Inverness Cali Thistle. Of course, Peter Grant, they're trying to plot the downfall of a man that he came up against on many an occasion. Robbo wearing the maroon of Hearts and Peter Grant wearing the hoops of Celtic. But I think Robbo's side 11-8 on to win this one against Alloa. For Inverness, is it a win, Roughie?
No, not for me. Alloa is a really difficult place to go and get something at the game. The pitch is very, very narrow, and the players really put in a shift. If you let them score against you, you know, you're going to have to work really hard to beat them. So I'm going to go Inverness just a late goal to win 2-1.
What are you talking about, man?
I'm just giving you a picture. I'm giving you a picture of how difficult it is.
Suggested to me. They suggested to me, and I thought, okay, he's going for the shock. No. I thought you were going to go for Alloa. You've done your usual. I thought you'd let that part of your life go behind you.
Painting the picture of how difficult it's going to be.
We know how difficult it's going to be, but anyway, apart from anything else, Barry.
I'm going Alloa. I watched Alloa against Dundee United a few months back, and I was impressed with them. AstroTurf, Inverness Caller used to playing in grass, so I'm going Alloa 2-1.
Well, I've got Robbo's side to win that one 2-0. Okay, just in case some Celtic fans go crazy and wonder why we're not talking about Partick Thistle against Celtic, it's coming up after we announce our quiz winner for this week. Well done, Jamie Bissett. A Ronaldo t-shirt from our collection is on its way to you. That's Ronaldo, the Brazilian, who was an absolute genius, I have to say to you. Absolutely top drawer.
Yep, growing up, I used to love watching him. Phenomenal player. One of the best, I think, I've seen. One of the best.
It's strange, actually. If it hadn't been for the injuries, Roughie, we'd probably still be salivating about him up there with Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah, it's a name that we all know that he was a fantastic player, but I think there are other players out there that people talk more of, and maybe they should look into, his career and see what he did, because he was absolutely super.
Okay, fresh off the back of Klamala coming in, Soro is possibly only 24 hours away from coming in to join Celtic. The reason we know this is Neil Lennon's confirmed it.
Well, I think a deal's been agreed, and we're just waiting on the paperwork being done now. Yeah, he's like a number 6, very powerful, gets the ball back, he's got good close control, he's quite smart with the passes. But at that age, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his tactical awareness. But we like what we saw.
Okay, he's got a bit to go, Roughie, but I get the feeling that the Ivorian that they're bringing in will be one of those players that maybe is in a holding role to allow them. I think they're going to play a 3-5-2 Celtic for the second half of the season. Yeah,
I was just saying there, sort of a Victor Wanyama, sort of a big, strong boy, with players, the young players run about him. We know the Christies, the McGregors, and they could just feed off him. So yeah, I think there's a plan there, but I think the most important thing was the striker. To have 3 top strikers at a club is what the Celtic need.
Yeah. What shape are Thistle in, Roughie?
New players coming in. It'll be interesting to see what Ian McCall puts out there. Zach Rudden, I'm sure, will be given something we needed up front. I don't know if we'll play 3 up front or not. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah, for a corner. I've got Partick Thistle 1, Celtic 3 on this one. I mean, you can abstain, I understand.
Yes, I'm going to abstain in this one. But I have got a score here.
Yeah, okay then.
Yeah, it's the same as Barry's anyway.
I'm the exact same score as you. Yeah, I think Celtic will put out the strongest team possible and they'll win it 3-1.
It's some record, Barry. 31 consecutive. Because you've played in sides which have built up phenomenal records as well.
Especially in cup competitions, Peter, because you never know what you're going to get. So I think 31 games. Yeah. It's a phenomenal record. So you've got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, I don't think too many of us are thinking there's going to be an upset there. The game of the weekend is undoubtedly Dundee United against Hibs. Am I speaking out of turn, Roughie?
No, I don't think so. I think Hibs and Motherwell are the 2 top teams with the away games that I'm talking about. I think they'll be given really tough games with the 2 Dundee sides. They'll have to battle and play at the top of their game. I do think Hibs will just nick it, but who's to say with the boy Shankland up front? He just can turn goals out of nothing. But I'm still going to go Hibs to win 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange one. I'm sorely tempted on this one, Barry, and I've decided to opt for Dundee United to win it 2-1 on the basis that Shankland's the man of the moment, and Dundee United are unbeaten in 6, Hibs 2 wins, 4 defeats.
Yeah, especially Dundee United being at home, as you mentioned, Shanklin in fine form. I think if Dundee United keep Scott Allen quiet, I think they'll win the game 2-1.
2-1 as well?
Yep.
Okay. Lots of, other games where I think we've got to look and see ourselves. Livingston against Wraith. They're fifth in the table. John McGlynn was speaking earlier this week about the aerial threat, but he emphasised the fact that Livingston do have some really good players, Roughie, who can create a wee bit on the deck as well. You are impressed by more than a few of them.
Pittman, Lawless,
Yeah.
Sybil, great technical players, and they've got the assets as well. I mean, and you think of the games of Livingston playing against Rangers and Celtic, and Rangers and Celtic players really struggled in that environment down there, and I'm sure Wraith Rovers will be coming up against something they've not had to come up against for a few years.
Yeah, I can only see Livingston winning this one by a couple of goals, Barry, on the basis that, look at the scalps, Livingston. They've taken Celtic out. The good win against Hibs before the break.
Yep, I'm with you. I read Gary Holt's comments yesterday. He's putting out the strongest team possible. So if they turn up in good form, Livingston win the game 2-0 for me.
Yeah, have you gone for a Livy win?
2-0.
Yeah, what about St John's? St John's, sorry about this, Barry. There's no way you're making up on them. St Johnstone against Morton. Tricky one. I think it's going to be tight. I don't think there'll be a lot of goals in this one, Roughie. What do you think?
Again, this is another one. If it had been done at Capello, I think St Johnstone would have had a game in their hands. But I think with the home advantage, they were beginning to put a wee bit of form.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go St Johnstone to win 3-1.
3-1. I've got them by a goal, 1-0. But Morton, what are you going to get from them, Barry? Because they're only 3 points above Partick Thistle in that division.
They're behind confidence. They've won their last 2 games, Peter, so they'll go up there hopefully putting in a good performance. But for me, St Johnstone will be too strong, 2-0.
Yep, Queen's Park, what a turnaround. I mean, honestly, Ray McKinnon in there, and suddenly there's a man who's going to bankroll them and see if he can get Queen's Park further up the divisions.
Yep, always been an amateur side, now they're professional. I've seen they've signed all their players on professional terms, and there'll be a bit of money to go and spend. So, and they had a great result at the weekend. I seen they went to Edinburgh City and won 2-1, so they're flying high at the top of League 2. But look, Kilmarnock, if again they'll be too strong, I think full time will come in the end, and Kilmarnock will win the game comfortable 4-0.
Roughie, 4-0?
Yep.
No, I'm going to go 3. I think again the divide in the divisions here will be a big telling thing, and I'm going to go come out to win 3-0.
Yeah, I've got them down for 2-0 here, Roughie. And as far as Edinburgh City that you mentioned there, they're at Hamilton Accies. This is a strange one. I mean, I wouldn't like to be dismissive of Edinburgh City as well, because second in League 2, got a bit of form about them at the moment. I mean, 1 defeat in the last 6 games, Barry.
Yep, and that was at the weekend there against, we just mentioned, Queen's Park.
Yeah.
But again, I'll go with the full-time team. Surely Hamilton will have enough in the locker to beat Edinburgh, so I'll go Hamilton 3-1.
Yeah, again, home advantage. If it had been in Edinburgh, it might have been difficult, so I'm going to go Hamilton 2-1.
Okay, I've got 2-1, Roughie. Ayr United against Ross County. I am now just bowing to the argument that you've been putting across all throughout this programme. I think County will go down there to Somerset Park and win it 2-1.
Yeah, I think Ross County will be too strong as well. I think Ayr United went off the boil a wee bit just now. I'm going to go Ross County 2-0.
2-1 Ross County.
Yeah, so we're not in any way going against County and what they're going to do there. St Mirren against Broxburn. We're now into the games where some of these teams, whether it be East of Scotland or indeed the Lowland League, are hoping for something a wee bit special. But I don't see it happening with St Mirren. I think they'll win this one 2-0.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think St Mirren will be too strong. A great day out for Broxburn, their fans and their players, but again, full time. St Mirren too much quality, 4-0.
Yeah, I can't think for the life of me, Roughie, why I know Brian McNaughton so well. Obviously because of his Hearts connection, but he's got a good backroom staff there. It's a good club. Can they pull off any shock?
Not for me. Again, St Mirren with home advantage. Not impressed with St Mirren, but I think they're beginning to get their act together, and I think they'll be far too strong, and I'm 4-0 as well.
Okay, and a couple of games. I know you're
There's
sick
a
and one.
I was thinking the positive side, all the points we're gaining on him.
A couple of games to finish then. East Kilbride, BSC. I'm going to take your call on this one because you know them so well. We know Bonnyrigg are chasing you down, but these two sides I thought would be chasing you hard as well.
Yeah, BSC are. East Kilbride have had a tough season. But there's a lot of good players in both teams. I think it'll be a real tight one. I think BSC will just nick it 1-0.
Well, I've gone 2-1 East Kilbride.
Well, I don't know anything about the two teams, so I'm going to sit in the fence, one each.
Okay, now yeah, well at least you're honest about it, Roughie. I'm glad you've narrowed it down to East Kilbride and BSC that you don't know too much about. Bonnyrigg Rose against Clyde. Well, again, Barry, I bow to your superior knowledge.
Difficult place to go. I've been to watch Bonnyrigg 3 or 4 times this season. Robbie Horner managers, I mean, they get promoted out the east of Scotland and they're flying high in our league. Peter, difficult team to play against. I think there'll be an upset here. I think Bonnyrigg will win the game. 2-0.
2-0. Roughie?
I think it'll be a tough one for Clyde. Again, you know, the home advantage will play a lot of them. It's going to be 2 each.
2 each, okay. Sorry for the big padding and then nothing. But that's Roughie for you. I've gone Bonnyrigg Rose to win this one by 2-1. Sorry, Daniel Lennon, but it's all about guessing, isn't it, really? Just before we go, lads, big game at the weekend in the English Premier League. Liverpool, I think, at Anfield against Manchester United. Debate over whether Rashford is going to play or not. So for me, Liverpool with what I call the fearsome threesome up front will win this one comfortably 2-0.
Yeah, I don't think it would make a difference if Rashford was playing. I think Liverpool will demolish Man United. I do.
Wow.
I think they're far too strong.
What's the score?
I'll go 2 or 3-0.
2 or 3?
I'll go 3.
3?
Yep.
I'll go 2-0.
2-0. Okay, on that note, listen, right across social media, you can give us your thoughts. Follow us at PLZ Soccer on Twitter. Of course, Facebook. We get Facebook Live where you can put your point immediately to the panel. We'll react to your point of view on Facebook. If you want to join us on PLZ Soccer, you can on YouTube as well. If you subscribe, not only will you get all the unique video content, the one-to-ones, really good specials on there as well. Dream teams from not only our panellists, but some very special players offering you their all-time best 11. You'll get all that content on YouTube if you subscribe, and of course tell your friends, share the programmes. We're delighted that you've given us your support. The football family growing bigger and better in 2020. So thank you to Roughie, to Barry Ferguson, and from myself, Peter Martin. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Thanks for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.